crypto warriors, changing our world day by day. The way of the crypto warriors, can't rely on the bankers, no way.
Morning, Bix Weir, roadrunner.com with your morning horn of Z's, your sip of chaga coffee. Just a quick update on Instagram. Paige has posted the latest Word Wednesday, and the word is rehypothecation. Rehypothecation. Check it out. She does a great job on the Instagram. Make sure you follow Paige on the Instagram. I also posted it on YouTube, and it's easy to get a good picture of Paige smiling. It's hard to get a good picture of me smiling. So as you go through, we freeze frame so I can show everybody what it looks like. I kept trying to freeze frame. Paige looked great in every picture, and I would look like a schmo. What do you do, right? What do you do? All right, check that out. I wanted to just go quickly in an overview of what's going on right now. Silver was allowed to hit $19 earlier today. There's a big fight going on in silver. Silver is the bank killer, so yes, of course it is a gigantic deal. Probably the most important deal out of any deal out there. Bigger than cryptos, bigger than gold, bigger than the stock market, the bond market, bigger than everything. Why? Because silver is the Achilles heel of the banking cabal, of the bad guy criminal market riggers. So yeah, it's a big deal when silver starts busting loose. The real guts of the fight can be seen it's all at the COMEX. The COMEX is really the only silver market on planet Earth, the only silver exchange on planet Earth. The LBMA is not an exchange, it's a men's club, is what it is. And they lie about all their numbers. It's an association, London Bullion Market Association. So they don't have free trading, they just set the price and say, here's your price. And then they pretend to trade all this physical silver that doesn't exist. So let's talk about where we are as far as the CME. A big day yesterday, up to, that's 100,000 contracts that was traded yesterday, which is 500 million ounces of silver, theoretically, in futures and options, traded hand yesterday. It's a con. It's rehypothecated. Check out rehypothecation. But let's dig a little deeper, and we see that the September contract increased by 5,584 contracts. Interesting. I mean, obviously we're still a month and a half away or more but right now, if everybody stood for delivery now, there was no way they could pay off the 139,000 contracts, which is, what is that? 700 million ounces of silver. No, that won't happen. Usually as we get near the delivery date, which is the end of August, that will be rolled over into the next month. I'm not so sure the next delivery month is December. I'm not so sure. I am not so sure that they're going to be rolled over. I'm not sure. Would you, if you were looking to take delivery and you knew that everybody and their mother was going to be taking delivery, wouldn't you do it sooner rather than later? I sure would. So I wouldn't roll over any contracts over to December because I don't even think the COMEX will be in business by then. But we will find out, right? There's still 2,882 contracts open in the July contract for delivery, which would put us over 15,000. If you look yesterday, we had 37 contracts delivered, put the total at a whopping 13,493 contracts, the biggest on record, shall we say. I think September is going to double that, at least, if not more. Same old names out there, JP Morgan, Bank of America, Goldman Sachs. I mean, you're looking for the criminals. Here they are, Citibank. There they are on open display for you to wonder, hey, who's the real loser here? I would say JP Morgan, according to Ted Butler, and I believe Ted, he knows his shit when it comes to who's got what. JP Morgan is now long both gold and silver on the COMEX and is leasing out both gold and silver to basically put these criminal banks deeper into the hole. Now, I think it would be they are doing it to make sure that the system stays together. If you get the other banks to a point where if they fail, if JP Morgan's taken out, everybody fails, that's going to be kind of a feather in the hat for Jamie Dimon when he's talking to the Department of Justice about their manipulation RICO charges. He's going to say, hey, you take me out, I'm going to take everybody in the world out. The guy is pure evil. So that's where we are. I think we do need to take everybody in the world out. Start fresh. But hey, that's just me. So really interesting times in silver. It's going to get more interesting over the rest of this month as deliveries come in, and September is looking like a monster, the mother of all monsters, and right before the election, and so many other things. As far as Bitcoin, just staying steady. Cryptos are just staying steady. They're hovering right between, Bitcoin is hovering between 9 and 10,000. Can they click a mouse and drive the price way down? Absolutely. Can they drive it way up? Absolutely. It's all rigged. We are waiting for a world in which cryptocurrencies are freely traded in a decentralized form, an exchange that can't lie, cheat, and steal. But we're a long way from that in cryptocurrencies, especially that unregulated world. So hang on tight to your cryptos. I do think we're still potentially looking at $100,000 Bitcoin by the end of the year. And remember, all cryptos are linked to Bitcoin because a lot of the crypto trading on these exchanges is based off Bitcoin. So you put your market orders in, swapping one Bitcoin for something else. So altcoins will go crazy, Bitcoin will go crazy, everything will go crazy, and then we'll have another blow off top and start fresh, and the price of Bitcoin will crash down again as the manipulators take their profits going up and take their profits going down. Right now, there's more profits to go up. So we'll see what happens. All you got to do is make sure you can hang on to your investment with both hands. That means cryptos in your own possession only. In your own possession only, meaning not on an exchange, not on Coinbase, not on Kraken, not on Gemini, not on Binance, not on any of them. Pull them off, put them into your own wallet, a Trezor, KeepKey. There's all kinds of different wallets, paper wallets. Just make sure they're in your own possession. You're the only one that has access to the private key. Okay. Really interesting for those of you on the Q watch. When's it all going to happen? Clearly the arrest of Ghislaine Maxwell means things are speeding up. The replacement of the Attorney General of it's the Southern District of New York. Manhattan's Attorney General swapped out bad guy for a good guy. Everything can go forward now. So here we have John Solomon, indictments imminent on Obamagate probe. It's about freaking time. Yes, it is perfect timing for the Trump election. Who knows? I don't even think we're going to have an election. I don't think the left is going to accept any kind of charges against anybody, because they're going to say they were just trying to save the republic. It's too bad. I think America is in for a very tough time over the next 10 or 20 years. Yep, 10 or 20 years. So hang in there, go with the flow. This is year zero. Everything will change over time, and your job is to go with it and keep a positive attitude. It's very important. Interesting one here. CNN's Don Lemon offers 5 tips to end the violence and chaos in Black communities. He's all about Black Lives Matter today, but in 2013, he offered 5 ways to get out of it that I agree with wholeheartedly. He was actually reporting on the real news back then, and now he's just a shill for the left, and talking about things that will not help the Black community. But back then, let me go over. The comment is, this is going to be awkward for some. Having gone to battle with Terry Crews over the semantic difference between Black Lives Matter movement, which appears not to care about some Black lives, and Crews' argument that all Black lives matter, video from 1913 has exposed CNN's infamously outspoken African-American anchor Don Lemon as a thoughtful, pensive, open-minded pundit who really went out on a limb to help America's black communities lift themselves up by agreeing with none other than Fox's Bill O'Reilly. Listen to the 5 things that Don Lemon says. You gotta listen to all, oh my God. So here's what Don Lemon says. I want to talk to you because we're going to take a break from the headlines to talk about something I've had on my mind for quite some time now. So much so that I felt compelled to bring back our segment where we hold politicians, leaders, and pundits accountable for what comes out of their mouths. It's time now again for no talking points. The Trayvon Martin murder case got just about everybody talking about race, and not just specifically how it related to the case. It got some, many on the political right, wondering why the so-called liberal media wasn't talking about other problems in the black community. Then Lemon goes on, someone on another network got a chance to go first because I couldn't go during the week, but I'm here on the weekend, so listen to this. And they play a post of Bill Riley saying, the reason there's so much violence and chaos in black precincts is that the disintegration of the African-American family. And Lemon goes, he's got a point. In fact, he's got more than a point, Bill. And then Bill Riley goes on. Raised without much structure, young black men often reject education and gravitate towards the street culture, drugs, hustling, and gangs. Nobody forces them to do that. Again, it is a personal decision. And Don Lemon says he is right about that too. And then Lemon goes on to offer blacks 5 things that they should think about doing if they want to. In his words, fix their problem. Number 5, pull up your pants. This is Don Lemon saying this. Pull up your pants. Sagging pants, whether Justin Bieber or no-name Derek around the way, walking around with your ass and your underwear showing is not okay. Number 4 is the N word. By promoting the use of that word when it's not germane to the conversation, have you ever considered that you may be just perpetrating the stereotype the master intended, acting like the blank? Number 3, respect where you live. This is Don Lemon saying this. Start small by not dropping trash, littering in your own communities. Number 2, finish school. You want to break the cycle of poverty? Stop telling kids they're acting white because they go to school or speak proper English. This is Don Lemon, I have you know, which is saying the completely opposite thing now. And number 1, probably the most important, and I've agreed with this and been talking about it for a long time, the most important, just because you can have a baby doesn't mean you should. Studies show that the lack of a male role model is an express train to prison, and the cycles continue. Don Lemon. So please, black folks, as I have said, if this doesn't apply to you, I'm not talking to you. Pay attention to and think about what has been presented in recent history as acceptable behavior. This is Don Lemon. Pay close attention to the hip-hop and rap culture that many of you embrace, a culture that glorifies everything I just mentioned, thug and reprehensible behavior, a culture that is making a lot of people rich, just not you. And there's Don Lemon saying that. That's exactly the opposite of what he's saying today. I'm just throwing that out there. Yeah, it's one of those days. I do have something much more important to talk about. I had a discussion with Michelle White Dove yesterday about my son's passing last year. He did commit suicide, and we had a long talk. I had a lot of questions, personal questions about the situation and all that. And she's an amazing person with an amazing gift of tuning into the spirit world, and I got a lot of answers from her and from Toby. And she posted this today. Suicide is not the answer. And I feel compelled to post this. Would have been. It would have been Toby's 18th birthday tomorrow, so I'll be taking the day off. But for anybody out there wondering about suicide, it is not the answer. That is not why you are here. It is the opposite of why you are here. And Michelle posted this. Suicide is not the answer, and you need to know why. One of the greatest lessons I learned from my near-death experience is the true importance of each soul. In my case, I was told that I had to go back. I was shown the ramifications of a soul leaving its earthly mission too early. The reasons are the same for suicide. Every soul is greatly important. You see, each soul comes to earth with an individual spirit contract to fulfill, and other souls that we must interact with. Through the course of a lifetime, we come in direct contact with thousands of people. Through our actions, both positive and negative, we also affect thousands of other people that we have never met. Because the people that we interact with, our deeds, good or bad, influence them. Then they interact with thousands of other people. Some souls influence generations of people. We are like pebbles cast into a pond. The ripple effect radiates from us and results in change. Every soul is needed. We have a purpose. From the guy who shines shoes for a living, the clerk at the store, activists, pacifists, to world leaders, every soul matters. So suicide is a big no-no in heaven. God grants us a time to enter and grants us a time to return to our true home, heaven. Who are we to interfere with God's plan? After all, we volunteered for this earthly mission, so we should do our best to make use of this lifetime and be positive in all aspects of our life. Most suicides are committed out of hopelessness, but if a person just persevered a little longer, their perspective on the situation would evolve. Have you ever noticed that people of greatness have overcome monumental obstacles and hardships? Out of tragedy, we all have the potential to uncover life's biggest blessings. Sending you much love, Michelle White Dove. That's the thing that Toby regrets, is how his passing affected so many people. And the ripple effects, and he wants the people to remember the light that he brought to the planet and to our lives. I'm going to show you some of the last pictures that Toby took. He was a dancer, amazing dancer. This is from his senior year, and I'm just going to show you these to show you what an amazing human he was, and he couldn't get past a certain moment in his life. Had he done that, he could have fulfilled all the things that he had set out to do. There he is. This is from his dance photos. That is my son. I don't know how the photographer did this, but that's a great picture, and he was an incredible dancer, as you can see from these pictures. That's where he found his peace and his solitude from certain dark forces that he was really born with, and battled his whole life and kept to himself about it. Amazing, talented artist. You look at these pictures, it's like, wow, he could have really used this talent to spread joy and happiness, and he knew how to spread happiness. When he was on stage, that's what he thrived. And there he is. That's one of my favorite pictures here. Me and Toby when he was young, staring up at the moon, right down the street from us. Anyway, I'm going to take tomorrow off and just think about what Toby wants us to think, and he wants us to remember the good time. Not the sadness of his passing, but all the good times of his living. Take care of your loved ones. If anybody struggles with this notion of, should I end my life, don't do it. These bad times are temporary and they will pass. Love to everyone. I'll talk to you guys later.